everybody's birthday tomorrow, and her birthday cake is going to be the Tunnel of Fudge cake in our second volume cookbook. You know, you remember those Tunnel of Fudge cakes. Maybe a long time since you've had one, so make you a Tunnel of Fudge cake for Thanksgiving this year. We're going to get this one started. It starts off easy with a cake mix, a Devil's Food cake mix. And you're just going to go by the box directions and mix up your cake mix. So that's what we're going to do. And everybody's box is different. And I tell you to make sure that your cake mix is a moist cake mix. Hopefully it's already got pudding in the mix. If it don't, you can add some pudding to it. This one doesn't say it does, but I know their cake mixes are really good, so I'm just going to make it just like it says to on the box. Simple. Add your oil, your water, and your eggs. When we asked for cake when we were little and we were playing in the yard, we'd say, "Granny, make us a cake." And she would make a pound cake out of a box all the time. And she'd call us back into the house, and it was so good. She was always busy in the kitchen, but Granny always took the time out to make us a cake. Did your Granny do that? I hope you can do that for your grandkids one day. I'll be so glad when I get some. All right, I'm going to start mixing this up a little. And then I'm going to get out my little hand mixer and we're going to mix it good for 2 minutes. But I'm just getting it started first with a spatula. Then we're going to make a homemade pudding to make the Tunnel of Fudge with. This is my new mixer, and I got it because it has a very low speed. It is amazing. I bought it for a little apartment in Cedartown, fell in love with it. I ditched my other one and got me another one of these. Watch, it has a really low speed. The other one that I had a number 1, but on number 1 it flew. See how slow it is on 1? Great. So on a medium speed, you're going to beat this 2 minutes. Make sure you beat it 2 minutes because you want to get those little lumps out that were in the cake mix. If you beat it for 2 minutes, they should be gone. And if for some reason they're not, turn your mixer up just a little bit for a second or two, and it should be good to go. This one is ready. For our Tunnel of Fudge, we're going to start out making our pudding homemade. We're going to start out with a cup of sugar. You're going to put your dry ingredients in first. You're going to be using a cup of sugar, 3 tablespoons of cornstarch, that's going to thicken it, so don't leave out the cornstarch. If you don't have cornstarch, you can use flour, okay? So double it. If you're using flour, it would take 6 tablespoons. Get you out a whisk. And here goes the cocoa. Cocoa always makes a mess if you're not careful. We're using Hershey's cocoa, and we're going to be using a 1/4 cup of Hershey's cocoa. I like to get rid of whatever I got the cocoa out with, because if I don't, I wind up getting it all over me. Now we're going to whisk this cornstarch, cocoa, and sugar together. Turn your microwave on and put in a cup of water and bring it to a boil. You're going to need a cup of boiling water. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this on 30 more seconds, and we are going to add it to our pudding. Bring that water to a boil. We're going to use it in our pudding along with a little vanilla once the pudding is thick. We're also going to be using an egg. Now, you're going to have to be careful when you add this egg because it's going to be hot from the water. So you're going to have to really whisk it and whisk it quick. I'm not sure why they tell you to use hot water, but they do. So we're using it. Add that boiling water. Now we're going to add the egg and we're going to mix it fast because that water's hot. Now after this pudding thickens, you're going to add some vanilla to it. We're going to get this in the microwave and put it on 3 minutes. Everybody's microwave wattage is a little bit different. You're going to cook this pudding until it's thick. I mean, you're going to cook it until it's thick. Every pudding you make in the microwave, you need to make sure it thickens before you use it. If yours doesn't get thick in the amount of time that mine does, that's okay. Just keep cooking it and it's going to get there. We're having a birthday. I told y'all that earlier, but take a look out here at our birthday table. It's got candy and fiddle faddle, and the reason I did this is because May turns 21 today. It's a big birthday because she's legal. All right, we're gonna get this out of the microwave. It's been in here 3 minutes. It looks thick. That is already thick. Now, if I were putting this in a cake, I would put a little butter in it. I don't think I put that in the recipe, so I ain't gonna do it. We're gonna add a little bit of vanilla to it. A little bit of a lot of vanilla to it. So there's our pudding. It's nice and thick, just like you want it. All it took was 3 minutes because it's only a cup of water. So now we're going to create our tunnel of fudge cake. You're going to use a Bundt pan. You're going to spray it or flour, grease and flour it, or spray it with a baking spray that has flour in it. With our Baker's Joy. Now the next thing you're going to do is put in your cake mix. And save a little bit of batter for tasting, if you like to taste the batter. Now the trick to doing a tunnel of fudge is putting the fudge or the pudding in the middle on the top of the cake. So you're going to pick it up by the large spoonfuls and you're going to place it right in the center of the cake. Just like that. And you're going to go all the way around the cake with it. Oops, I about got that one too close to the side. Don't get in a hurry. And just try to distribute it as evenly as you can. This is the last of it. So you can tell we've got it right in the middle. I'm a little off in some places, but that's all right. Then we're going to make a glaze to go on top of this. So we're going to go ahead and place this in the oven, and it's going to start getting big and rise, and it's going to create a tunnel of fudge. done. So we're going to get it out of the oven. You're supposed to. You should let this cool completely before you flip it upside down to glaze it. So sit it on a wire rack and let it sit out at least an hour or 2 hours before you take it out of the pan. All right, now we're ready to glaze our Bundt cake, our tunnel of fudge cake. Yummy yum. All right, we're gonna do 2 cups of powdered sugar with a 1/3 cup of milk and 1 teaspoon of vanilla flavoring. And we're just gonna whisk that up together till it's nice and creamy. That is my bird clock that a viewer sent. So it's right on the hour. I'm gonna bring y'all up close so you can see me glaze the cake. Yummy! So good. I'm gonna see how thin this is and drizzle a little bit on, and then I may actually thicken it just a little bit because I'm afraid it's gonna be too thin. I used skim milk, so it's thinner when you use a skim milk. So we're gonna put just a tiny bit more powdered sugar in it. I like for it to be thick enough that it holds its shape just a little bit and doesn't get completely see-through for a Bundt cake. I'll give y'all a top view and a side view. Here's your top view. You just use your whisk. Works great. Unless you do like a... taste the cake, and I didn't have the video camera on. I've already ate almost all of it. Y'all caught me. Sorry. Make sure you get a bite of fudge when you get a bite of the cake. It is super delicious, and you can't quit eating it. That's just like I remember it when I was a kid, when Mama would make a tunnel of fudge cake. I hope you've enjoyed watching Collard Valley Cooks, where we cook like our mamas did. Y'all have a wonderful day. And please hit that like and subscribe button for me. Y'all come back. Love ya. Bye.